In this section, we're going to talk about where to find customers and how to attract them to your business, otherwise known as marketing and lead generation. Now, finding and attracting customers to your business is going to be one of your primary objectives as a freelancer, and this is a never-ending process. Even if you are full to the brim with work now, that's no guarantee that 3 months, 6 months, 9 months from now, that you will still be full-time on projects. You might have heard the phrase feast and famine when it comes to freelancing. It basically describes this process that many freelancers go through. They acquire some customers, they get some projects, they have a ton of work to do, and so they stop looking for new projects while they're doing it. But sadly, once those projects are over, they haven't done the continuous work of getting new customers, and so they're suddenly out of income. We don't want this for ourselves, obviously, so let's take a look at where we can find customers and where we can be constantly engaging with potential new customers so that we never run out of work and are never left in a very unfortunate position of suddenly having no income coming in for our business. So especially if you're new to freelancing, there are two main places where you're going to find new customers. And those can be described as following. There's your warm network and your cold network. Now, your warm network is going to be people who already know, like, and trust you, such as your family, your friends, or even just some acquaintances who know you and know your work a bit. This is a great place to reach out for contacts and connections, especially when you're just getting started, because if you don't have that many projects, if you don't have a portfolio, if you don't have any testimonials and any way to really prove that you know what you're doing, trying to reach out and convince people who know nothing about you and have no reason to like and trust you is just going to be that much more difficult. So if you have, for example, a family member like a cousin or an aunt or uncle who is maybe in the same industry that you want to work in, if you have friends or acquaintances who might be potential connections to good clients that would be great for you and your business, feel free to reach out for them. Tell them, hey, I've just started freelancing in industry X. I know that you've had some contact with me doing this type of work. Do you know anyone who I could potentially reach out to right now who is looking for someone with my skill set? This is a great place to start. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to reach out to people who know you, especially like within your family and friends, because it feels businessy or like you don't want to mix those relationships with business. It can be a very light ask. And even if they know you well and they know this is what you're doing, what you're trying to do, people are living their own lives. So they might be very, very happy to help you. They just don't think about helping you because they've got their own stuff going on. So reach out to these people in your warm network first, if you haven't already, and see what kind of contacts and connections you can generate there and maybe find some easy, low-hanging fruit for your business. The next group is, of course, in contrast to the warm network, the cold network. And these are the opposite of the warm network. These are people who do not yet know, like, or trust you, and we have to do the legwork to go out and find them, to present our offer to them, to get them engaged with us in our business and convert them to customers. And in order to do that, we need to ask two important questions. Number one, where are your customers spending their time? Where do they hang out? What platforms do they populate on the internet? What events do they maybe go to in real life? Where are your customers? Because no matter who your customers are, if you go to the middle of the desert to try to pick up new customers, you will have no success, right? You have to go where your customers already are. So consider your industry, consider the type of people that you want to work with. Where are they? Where do they spend their time? Where would they be open to discussing the types of services you offer and discussing their problems with you? This could be networking events. Again, this could be LinkedIn. This could be on YouTube, whatever it might be, where are your customers spending their time? And the next question you need to ask, which you might recognize from earlier videos, is where do you have a unique advantage when it comes to attracting these customers? So if you are unbelievably shy and very socially awkward, it might be difficult for you at live events to meet a ton of people and to get a lot of connections for your business. If your customers, for example, are on YouTube, just loving YouTube videos, they consume a ton of YouTube content, but you don't really know how to make good videos and you never have had a YouTube channel, you don't know anything about it, you don't really have a unique advantage there. So this is an area where you have to ask yourself a question about you, which is, number one, is there a platform my customers are on or a place that they are hanging out where I have a unique advantage? Or if my customers are hanging out in a place where I don't yet really bring a skill set or an advantage, am I willing to spend the time to acquire that skill set so that I do have an advantage? And this could go both ways. So it could be that, let's say you are really not good with visual assets for your business, but you know all your customers hang out on Instagram. And obviously, if you're going to be on Instagram, you have to create compelling visual content. So either you're going to have to learn how to do that, or you're going to have to find another place where your customers are that hopefully is more advantageous to you. Obviously, there is a third solution to this, which is to just hire someone who's good at making content on the type of platform or for the type of place where your customers spend their time. And of course, if you have the budget for that, that's a great idea. But of course, if you don't, then you may have to consider your strategy and tweak it to fit the current state of your business and what you can offer right now. So your action step for this particular exercise is to, number one, make a list of your warm network contacts and reach out to them and just, again, tell them in a casual, like no pressure type of way, hey, this is, what I'm doing right now. I've got this business. I know you have this connection one way or another to maybe people in this industry or someone I could talk to about the business I'm doing. Would you be able to help me out? Make it easy, make it simple. Don't put any pressure on them because, again, these are like your friends and family and acquaintances. You don't want to make a big deal out of it and potentially hurt those relationships, right? But it doesn't hurt to ask them for help either. And then the second is, of course, to decide on one or two places or platforms that you could use to reach out to your cold network. It might be a meetup that's happening in your city. It might be on YouTube or LinkedIn, like I mentioned. Wherever it is, where are your customers spending their time and where do you have a unique advantage when it comes to reaching out to them in that place or on that platform?